So I've been seeing a lot of discourse and questions and videos online about the updated Etsy creativity standards and what it means for you as specifically a print-on-demand seller. Can you purchase designs on Etsy and sell them as is? Can you use Creative Fabrica graphics to make your own designs? So we're going to be talking about that in today's video. Coming over here to Etsy's creativity standards article, I will put a link to this down in the description. If we scroll down, you can see that we as print-on-demand sellers are going to be called designed by a seller. And that is sellers' original designs that are produced or printed by a third party or offered as a digital download. And so when you scroll down and go to the rules for creativity for designed by a seller, this entire section is just explaining that if you're selling designs with a print-on-demand production partner, it needs to be your original design. You need to tell the user that you're using a production partner, which is what we do every time we make a listing. You have to click whose production partner it is and provide accurate information about where the item will ship from. And then if you're using AI, then you have to have a hand in the AI design prompt. You can't download a prompt, use someone else's prompt, buy a prompt and use it as is. You have to make your own AI prompts or edit prompts to put your own unique spin on things. The whole idea with this creativity standards is that Etsy isn't full of a ton of sellers selling the exact same looking designs. And so this is a good thing. You should have unique designs that nobody else has. So this does mean that you can't buy designs or download designs that are pre-made and use them in your store. But the interesting thing is that this part of the creativity standards is not new. If you use a Wayback Machine and look at the same article from July 16th, 2024, this actually isn't brand new news. Now, there are some updates to this article for other people like 3D printed sellers and things like that. But as a print-on-demand seller, this section is unchanged, and this has always been the exact truth. So what does this mean for you? Can you use Creative Fabrica designs in your store? I'm going to go over a couple different answers. If you're not familiar with Creative Fabrica, it's an awesome website for print-on-demand sellers that has millions of fonts and graphics that you can use for your print-on-demand business. And if you've never checked them out before, I do have a link down in the description where you can get 10 free downloads. And then they do have a special running right now where it's only $4 a month. So I think you pay $47 for your first year. So it is a really good deal for millions of graphics and fonts. But if you come onto their website and you click on one of the designs, for example, it might tell you that you have full POD usage allowed. And you might think that that means you can sell it on Etsy. But that doesn't, because that goes against Etsy's terms of service. A print-on-demand seller on Amazon, on Shopify, on TikTok, they might be able to download a design as is and sell it on there, but you can't on Etsy. So that's where it gets confusing, and I think what's tripped up a lot of sellers. But the other question a lot of people are asking is, can you use things like fonts or graphic packs to make your own designs? So let's start with fonts, for example. So if we come over to the fonts section, this is one of the biggest reasons why I use Creative Fabrica is because of their huge library of fonts and being able to use font glyphs. So like looking at this Kayla font, for example, how it has these little hearts at the end of these letters, or welcome having these big squiggles at the beginning and the end. That's not something that you can typically do on something like Canva. And so you can actually use Creative Fabrica to download those fonts and use them in your designs. And it can be a great way to add value to a really simple font design in a really cute way. And I will put a video down in the description linked that'll show you how to use those font glyphs in your designs if you're interested. But when you click on a font, it just says that you have commercial rights to use these fonts, which what that means for you as a print-on-demand seller is that you can't sell this font to someone else. You don't have the rights to sell it as is without making any changes. But because you're not going to be using the whole alphabet and selling it on a shirt, you can actually use some of the alphabet fonts, some of the glyphs, and make a unique design. And that is covered under Etsy's unique rights because you are making a unique design using those graphics. Let's come over to Canva and go through a couple other examples so that you know exactly how to comply with Etsy's creativity standards. And these same rules would apply for any graphics that you purchase on Etsy as well. So taking a look at, say, this spooky season design, let's say you really like the design, but you're going to chop off the words. I would say that does not comply with the creativity standards because you didn't have to put any creative aspect into creating the design. You just cropped something out. Now, I also probably wouldn't recommend just adding different words underneath here. The other dangerous part with pre-made designs is sometimes people will steal designs and sell them as a digital download. And so if this seller made this design really specifically for themselves, you could still get a copyright infringement even if you add some little details to it because you stole part of their design. And so I would be careful with using things that are kind of mostly pre-made just to keep your shop completely safe. But what about something like this example? This is one of the biggest reasons why people use Creative Fabrica is because of their really cute doodle alphabets or for their graphic packs, for example. So let's take a look at that example. I think if you were to, say, take one of those graphic packs and add the text here, you can make this smaller and make this into a really cute, say, teacher design, for example. I think because you're taking their graphics and making your own unique design, that does comply with Etsy's creativity standards. So I think this is completely fine and falls within the rules. And so you can pretty quickly use these, add a cute little bow, and have a super cute print-on-demand design that you uniquely came up with and made using those graphics. Now, same thing goes, let's do another example. Let's say you downloaded this nostalgic 90s graphic pack and you want to use them in a pattern and make a design, right? You can add them all, make them little, and let's say you wanted to use the proven design style of the 3x3 graphics. That's a super popular and proven design style that I talk about a lot in my monthly trend reports and my private community. And so if I make this cute little design, I think this still falls within Etsy's creativity standards because, again, you're kind of adding your own value by combining them in a different way. Now, you could also, try and make sure you're really, really complying by, say, just using a couple of the graphics, for example, and then adding like text underneath. I think the more things you can combine, the better. So let's say change this to like 90s baby, for example, and make it the same color as one of the graphics or the colors in the graphic. Then I think something like this would definitely fall within Etsy's creativity standards because you're combining graphics, you're combining text, you're making it into a totally different kind of design style that adds value to the market and doesn't look exactly like what other people have, for example. And just a quick plug, if you're ever wondering what should I be designing for right now, what's even selling on Etsy, then I do offer my monthly trend reports where I give you an hour-long recorded video of me going through what's selling right now on Etsy and what's going to be selling in the next 8 to 12 weeks. I have tons of testimonials of people getting sales the next day, getting tons of sales, their first bestseller from using the designs that I show in my monthly trend reports. So we'll put a link down in the description to sign up for those if you're interested. And you even get a once a month live group Q&A call with me. So if you've ever wanted more kind of one-on-one support a little bit, then that would be a great place to get it as well. I hope this video helped clarify a few things and calm you down that there's no big changes right now for print-on-demand sellers. Just make sure that all the designs that you're creating are uniquely yours. And if you're using AI to make your designs, include something in the description that says that it was made with the assistance of AI and you are good to go.